Hi, Dad. Do you sometimes think that you're the only dad that has problems with their teenage children, especially their teenage daughters? I know I did. And I didn't know exactly what to do with it, except that I needed to have some help. And you might be the same way that I did, or my friends were, when I was a parent of teenage daughters, and going, what happened? What happened when I was the world's greatest dad to all of a sudden now my daughter turned into a teenager and I'm now dorky dad? Well, I was in a group of guys that got together on Friday mornings to have breakfast together. And you might not think, well, that's any big deal, other than the fact that we got together every week and we talked about things. And we were willing to talk about what was going on in our lives. And we got intentional about it and say, well, what's going on in your life? And the interesting thing is, we talked about something which is, it's your turn in the barrel. Now, that wasn't that we were going to find out who was the one that week who had problems and needed some help. But what did happen is I would know that it was me that sometimes needed help. I was the one in the barrel. I was the one that was feeling stupid. I was the one that was going, how did I screw this thing up? I'm trying hard. I'm a good dad. I'm trying to figure this out with my daughter. And boom, something came off and I'm like, did I do the right thing? Did I say the right thing? How could I have handled that better? And what I knew is these guys knew me, and they also had a lot of experience themselves because they were fathers themselves. Some of them didn't have teenage daughters, but 70% of fathers have at least one teenage daughter. And these same skills many times will apply to being a father of a teenage son. So I would ask them, and that's one of the keys. I'd ask them and say, look, here's what happened. I'm feeling bad about it. Can you help? And they would. And they'd give me insight and give me wisdom. And it wasn't perfect, but these were guys who were in the same situation I was in, and I could believe what they said. The other part of this, of course, is that I wasn't always screwing up. I was trying to be a good dad. And so I wasn't always screwing up, so I needed to be there for them when it was their turn to be in the barrel. But I had to have this group in place when I needed them, not trying to find somebody to talk to when I needed them and had nobody to talk to. The group was in place when I needed them. When I showed up on Friday morning, it was going to happen. And the group can be formed about just talking about football, talk about business things, could talk about personal growth. It doesn't make any difference. But the real issue, I think, is having 4 to 5 guys that you can get together on a regular basis, in my case weekly, and just spend some time. And then when you need them or they need you, you have to be able to ask the question and say, guys, I need some help. Or you need to be the one who's going to be there and say, here's what I think you can do. It's not that complicated. It just takes some planning and you need to do it. Thanks for stopping by.